Well, theoretically, once again, I am on. We'll see if it holds up. We'll see if I, once again, am on the actual internet. I'm doing this by myself, so I have to kind of check things. And yes, I see myself there. Okay. Looks like we're good to go. Hello. How's everybody doing today? All right, today I'm going to be painting a mushroom, or a bunch of mushrooms actually. This is going to be called Mushroom Heaven. What I did was I took the actual photograph that I took in my backyard of the mushroom, and I did a little, this time I did a little Photoshop, and I don't usually normally do a lot of that. I like to take stuff as straight up as I can, but this is from my film. But these mushrooms were here. I put in some little extra little accent mushrooms just to kind of throw a little spice in there. So I'm going to start, I'm going to work from the background forward, probably from this side to that side mostly. But let's see what happens. Alrighty. Let's see, and that Prussian blue there. So let me get some more Prussian blue down here, right there. I'll take some of that Prussian blue right there. Alright, so I'm going for some Prussian blue here. My brushes are just about spent. I really need to go get some new ones. But I'm determined to get through the 8 paintings with the brushes I got. But I might not make it. We'll see. I think I will. Maybe. I think the last painting might deserve a... Well, it doesn't really matter because it's live stuff. When I go, I'm going to go back over all of them anyway with better brushes and stuff like that. So I'm in no hurry. Yeah, actually, this brush is pulling out just fine. All right. So let's see if I can get a little... I'm just going with almost a straight Prussian blue, and I'm kind of coming right in this corner. I don't usually start the other side, but in this case I want to go ahead and kind of get this kind of soft bit of blue that fades into black and kind of get it to just the other end. And in this case I'm going to kind of keep pulling it one direction, so because I'm going to be doing more things on this side, but on that side I don't. I want it to kind of feather right in there where it just fades, and it's at an angle too, so let me, it's at an angle, it's going to come more this way. There you go. Get a little bit more there. Let's do it a little bit more. There you go. Angle a little bit again. This way. There you go. I'm just going to kind of pop the color around in here. So now you can start seeing some of that blue as it mixes in with some of this white that's underneath. There you go. Over here. And then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take some of that and actually mix in some more white over here on the brush itself. And I kind of take, I'm going to go maybe right about here. Alright, and I'm going to keep adding white as I go along. Don't go too crazy. That was a little too much color. But that's okay. Easy enough to go back into the blue. I'll pull some more blue here. And actually what I think I'm going to do also is grab a little, at this point, a little black and kind of mix in down here where the color is going to kind of deaden a bit. Let me get a little bit more of that black in there. And I'm going to put that black right up on top of that white so it hits with purpose, so to speak. And I'm going to have some leaves that aren't in the photo, but I'm going to throw a couple leaves that are coming out of nowhere kind of thing, and some things that are happening along this edge that may or may not actually be happening right there. Now we're getting a little more of a pure grayish. There we go. And now I'm going to bring that light up now a little bit. There, and have a little spill of it there, maybe a little spill of something that kind of curves down a little bit like this over here. And then I'm going to also have the whole thing kind of right along a little bit. Kind of go this way. reason I'm starting over here is basically I want to kind of start with a little bit of starting in the background. This is one of not, it's the only thing on the background on this side, and it's not really the only area that's going to have kind of this color. Although I can throw echoes of this color, which is always good to do when you're doing a painting and you're making it your own. You can always want to make one color pop a little bit more, give it a little echo somewhere, give it a little repeat somewhere, and that'll a little more light right there. Now that same color, it's going to have a little echo of it right back here on this one, just a little bit as it gets right towards this shadow. Put some little darker right here, just right there. Just a little echo of it, just a little echo of it there. Okay. And then with that, you can go around with what's left on your brush. And you can find other areas where there might be things. I can say, all right, well, there's some nice cool colors on some of these branches and stuff. So I might want to throw some cool shadows down on some of these branches here and there. Throw a little cool shadow here and there. Just something to have something going on. There you go. That's fine. And then maybe also, let's say, in here maybe a little bit, and maybe along in there somewhere along the edge of it, just maybe a little highlight right there. There you go. So let's spill over here a little bit. So there's not much of it. I just kind of peppered it around in there. I didn't want to go too crazy with stuff. This is just going to kind of be something different. Then we'll work that in a little bit better later. Now, all right, I'm going to take that same brush now. And I'm going to clean it off. And while I'm cleaning it off, I'm going to stroll over here and see if anybody's watching. I never can really tell. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Looks like Ward, at least you got in there for a second. I just don't like anybody's watching at this moment. But you got a couple of people watching. Anyway, all right. So I guess people probably pop in and out, I would think. That would make sense. Come check up on me later, see how far I've progressed. And that's fair game, man. But I'm doing it for me. I'm trying to do it for this film and trying to do something for myself as an artist that's a little more, a little bit more personal. I don't really tend to do, I don't know, not necessarily commercial, it's not a priority, but there's always a consideration and stuff like that. Whereas this, that's always there, I guess, when you're a professional, but for this particular piece, I'm not really looking at that. I'm looking at this as more of a it's what I'm about. This is all stuff from my garden. This is all pictures I've shot. There's nothing I haven't photographed myself or haven't videotaped myself or something like that. And it's what I've been doing. It's what I've been doing for years, not just during the 2020. I've been doing this kind of thing for a long time. All right, so let me look at what's another nice dark color in the background. I'm looking at some kind of purple, and I don't really have that color laid out, but I'm seeing it there, so I'm going to get some. There we go. That's purple, and it's kind of mixed with a little bit of black. It's a little grayer than all that. A little black, a little white. Let's see here. Try to get something like that. Maybe get a little more black mixed in there. And that little white. There we go. A little more black. Yeah, you need to shoot some more black in there. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't happening. Not the way I want it to. Alright, well, we'll fix that. There we go. Now mix the white in. There we go. This was too bright purpley color, and I want it to be a little bit more gray than that. So I mix some black in there, a little white to lighten it up just a tad. And then there's essences of things back in here. And to me, it's odd. It's just something that's indicative of something that it really looks like right up in here somewhere, like one of these. It almost looks like maybe this one right here. It almost looks like this one's a mushroom itself, like it has a cap right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to roll with that. And just say, yeah, why not? There could be. And well, let's see, we've got some of this purple now. It's kind of mixing its way in to all this. It's kind of mixing its way in. I'm going to throw some white on top of that eventually. But that's just how it kind of looks to me. And then once again, let's put some of that same color and mix some of it maybe in at the top here. Fold it over like that. Something like that. It's not a huge amount of color. And then I can just throw a few little essences of a purple flopping around back in here somewhere. That's alright, right back in here maybe. There's some other things. I can just throw some greenery coming up over here. And then there's actually some areas in here that are pretty loose looking and kind of blend in with some of this white right here a little bit. So there's some things that happen back there. And there'll be some greens and some other things. I won't blend that stuff right off the bat. But while I've got this purple still on the brush, actually it looks like there's a nice dark purple shadows maybe on some of the dirt down under these mushrooms right here. And there's some nice little colors I can pop around in there that'll look neat with those particular mushrooms, I think. Having something like that underneath. And you know, I'm coloring it up a little bit, making it a little bit more fancy. I've already got a title for this one. I don't usually have a title ahead of time, but I'm calling this one Mushroom Heaven. I haven't had all these mushrooms at the same time, but this one were definitely there. And then there were some smaller mushrooms of a different kind you couldn't see as well, so I'm putting in these from a different photograph, but they were kind of there, but this one's purdy. So yeah, this, and this, and I put in a couple other ones. This one was grown by a bucket very similar to where this one is going to be, by this bucket back here. And then I just threw a couple other ones just in just for fun. And then this one over here, I'm throwing a couple little color. I just want a little bit of color, but I'm trying to keep them all a little bit subtle, so you have to kind of Easter egg hunt for them a little bit. I don't want it to be too bloody obvious. Let me go ahead and put get ready to put some greens in there. Actually, I see some oranges back in there. Let's see if we're filming. Alright, I got a little camera set up over here to see if I can't film a little something. Also going to set a camera up. It's got a camera set up over here. Let's get that guy zoomed in and locked in and all that too before I start some of this more serious painting here. That looks pretty good. Let's tilt it up a little bit right there. Back it off a tick. There we go. And let's see. That looks about right. Let's see, there we go. Alright, that one's filming too. Okay. So now I've done a little bit of work on this. Let me go ahead and throw some white now. Once again, I want some light coming through here. And some light kind of coming up from the bottom down here. A little bit more than that. Grab a bigger slice than that. There we go. Right in here somewhere. I still need a little more. I'm still being a little timid there. Okay, there we go. A little better. And that's it. And let's kind of pep some of the side here. Alright, now. That a little bit. Clean that brush up. And I've got a bigger brush over here that I can blend that with. Just to kind of soften it up. What all that's going to do now, and once again I'll pull that this way so it fades off. The light's fading off over that way. There we go. Alright, now, that was a bigger, like a house painting brush, just using a kind of dry color. Now I'm going to throw some, I'm going to use the same color I've been using before. I'm going to throw in some of these, more of this kind of a burnt sienna kind of color. Burnt sienna, need to be a little more thinner there. That's pretty dry paint. Let's see here. Mix a little bit of that with a touch of this, just to get a little spark on it. There we go. And a little shot there. A little spark on this. There we go. All right. And back in here, we just have some nice warm colors just popping around in the background. There's like some stuff back in here under this leaf. And I'm not going to be as literal as I could be, I guess, about it. But let's see, this is going to be a big leaf here. So there's going to be kind of this area right here is actually an area that I wanted to indicate that there was something going on. And then in addition, up here. Something going on right there. And then some other colors. Now, so those kind of colors, and this is still background stuff. And that's pretty straightforward. I don't really going to do too much else with it. Just kind of just hit a little color. Now I'm going to go over here and hit just to give a little highlight spots on there, here and there. And one right there. Actually, I'm going to grab a little bit more of that straight up. And maybe just throw a little bit of cad yellow in there just to kind of brighten it a little bit more. Pop a little highlight there. Have a little bit of a highlight in there. Let's grab a little bit more here. And yeah, there's going to be that thing. You know, nice little siennas popping around now in there, here and there. I'm going to put sienna on one side and this lighter kind of dark ochre on the other side. Then I'll pull in some of the little colors in the back. It looks like right in the back of this mushroom there's some little more happy things happening back here color-wise. And little bits of color just popping in here and there. That's it. None of it's too overloaded. None of it's too overloaded. I could throw in some of that color maybe right over here near where all this stuff is. You can throw a couple of tips, hints of some of that color around here and there. Just kind of scatter it out a little bit. There you go. And like I said, not a huge amounts of color right now. Right now, what I'm trying to do is just get this is all going to be blurry back here, so I want it to look that way. So now I'm going to go with kind of a little bit of a darker greenish color. I will mix some of that purple probably back in there a little bit. And then I'm doing my mixing on the brush. When you're doing something like this, doing it quick, I just do things on the fly. I don't necessarily try to hit it that hard as far as prep. You know, I mean, I definitely do my prep, but I try not to get too overzealous about it and try to say, well, when it comes to something like this, I know I'm going to be mixing on the brush because I that's kind of the way I paint anyway. I adjust on the go here. So this is mostly a darker, and I can kind of mix that all in there, and then fill in those dark areas, and then leave where those white areas are, and then when I blend it in, it'll kind of look a little bit more natural there. And I'll probably hit some of those on some bright light area here. Over in here we've got some darker greens kind of swirling around here and there. Kind of comes over some of it down in here maybe. Back side of this leaf might have a little bit. The back side of this leaf maybe a bit. And there's going to be some random greens up here, maybe right up here. That's it. And let's see, then we get over here. Now these start getting cooler, so I'm going to pull a little cooler green here. Loosen that up a little bit. Some of this cooler green has kind of gotten mixed in. And I'm going to be careful. And then right in here, we've got a kind of a mix of some cooler greens and things like that. Once again, a lot of this I want a little bit more blurry back here. So there's something kind of happening down here by some of the base of some of this. Over in here, maybe near this guy again. And then, let's grab that cool green. Now this time I'm going to make it a little bit more minty green here. Mix in with some of this area in here. And just kind of myself a nice little mix of stuff here. So I get some of those minty greens now. I'll take some of minty green. I'll put some olive green on one, minty green on one side, olive green on the other side. My brush. And I'll come up in here and I'll kind of get some dabbles up in here. Hit them. And kind of come along the edges of these dark areas. There we go. It's all right. I like it. And some of that can drift back in down in here. Yep. Yeah. So we're just kind of working some of those cool colors. Throw maybe a little bit more of that cool color. Maybe that back over here. And got some little colors popping in here and there. Little colors. That's a little bit more of something happening there. And then once again, I'm making up a couple of leaves up here that I just want to have. Just kind of cutting across this guy a little bit. There's going to be like a leaf there, and there's going to be like a leaf here, and he's going to be kind of coming out of here, and I can do is just kind of make that go like that, have another one, have some along on the edge here, and have some nondescript little shots there. And that'll look sort of like something's happening up there a little bit. And then when I blend in that background, because I'm going to do a big blend here in just a minute, I'm going to be blending in all this stuff all together. Let me turn that off. I don't know if that's probably already turned off. Yeah, good. Let me try it again here in just a minute. All right. Let's see here. Let me go back to my computer here, see if anybody's watching, see how things are looking. I think it's not lined up as nicely as I'd like. Let's see here. Let's kind of turn her there and get her in a little closer. That's a little better. Slow her down a bit. Right there. I think that looks better. Okay. There we go. All right. Now. We have another swig, and we're about 25 minutes in on the painting, and it's going nice so far. Now I've got some lime greens that I'm going to mix in here as well, so I'm going to still use the same brush. I'm just going to go ahead and grab some bright yellow, cadmium, bright basically, bright cadmium, not the deep. And we're going to grab some of that. And Mike, I'm going to grab just a little bit of the kind of the mix of the other greens right there. Let's kind of mix it a little bit, have a little mix on the thing. And that's going to be some of these colors back in here. I don't want them screaming bright, but I definitely want sully that up a little bit. That's okay. I'll grab some more. There we go. There's kind of a nice highlight, right? Kind of a brighter spot right there. Yeah. Now let's fade that off a little bit. There we go. And then we have a little bit of that in some of these lighter areas in here now. Kind of work that in so we get a little edge. I want to try to chirp out a little edge here a little bit. They do have a nice little edge, these leaves, coleus. I'm going to mix some reds in there too. They'll come in there eventually. And remember, a lot of that stuff's going to soften anyway, so I don't want to get too much paint on there. It's going to smear around. I want to try to watch what I'm doing as far as that kind of stuff goes. You got to really kind of watch it. You got to kind of watch it. You don't want to blast them to bits there. nice. Now let's mix them. I want to mix some kind of a neutral, kind of a, just a whatever green. I'm just going to kind of mix some of that back in here. Just not totally, but just let's try to mix some of it in so when I blend things in it'll shine a little bit. And now I need to get to some lime green and really brighten it up. Super bright yellowy lime green. That's going to be oh, there we go. I just want some of it, a little bit here. Just to pepper and some light back in here. Yeah. There is some light spilling through here and there. Yeah. See how that makes it pop a little bit more? That super bright color up over the top there. Yeah. Now I'm going to grab kind of give me this big blender right here. It's kind of dirty, but I think I'm going to give it a shot anyway. And I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to kind of just come along and just go to start with the highlights, start working my way, just kind of blending stuff, lighten it down and take some of that paint back off. Kind of go to the same colors that you had and kind of blend in. And that's, I'm trying not to be like, you don't want to overstroke things when you're doing a background like that. Nothing's too detailed. You don't want it to be like that. You want it to look pretty natural. So now I'm getting to where I'm looking and I'm trying to find the thickest areas of paint that I know are going to smear when I start pulling. And I'm going to try to avoid those. I'm also going to try to keep in mind the trunks of the mushrooms, which is one right there, there's one right there. So there's a trunk of a mushroom right there. So I want that one to be there, and I want that one to be there. And I want to make sure that when I come around here, filling in some of the stuff that I've got the heavy areas and I'm pulling those and I'm cleaning it off so I don't end up having huge streaks of stuff as I start smoothing across a little bit more. So now let me clean this up real good again, this brush, the same brush. And actually I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch over to this brush, which is a house painter's brush. And one more time, it should be on there pretty good, so I should be able to tap around. I should be able to just tap around on this. Yeah, that's a better approach. Just trying to get it all, because there's barely anything that's black back there really. It's dark, but it's not pitch black back there. You gotta watch for the mushrooms and stuff that you got going on in there. There we go. Now I'm not going too far down in here because it's going to be a little more focused, a little bit more than this is. So I'm going to treat it differently. This I'm trying to just be a little bit more loose. I'm just trying to soften it. That's the edges and soften them. And there's some highlights and stuff that can still go in there. But when I put those in, I'll put them in with a dry brush, and I'll just be very careful about how I do it and all that. And I don't mind leaving those whites and we'll get some gray in there because eventually a lot of that, like I said, a lot of that stuff's going to get covered over anyway. But let's see now. And then come across this guy real good right here. Across it. There we go. Good. There we go. And here. Over there. Way up in there. There we go. Fairly dark area back in here. Really is, because it's that edge of that pot there again. And then this. I don't want to gray it up too much, but I don't mind. If I can do it, I don't want it to be obvious, big old blob shots of it. You want to kind of ease it if you're going to be doing that. So I'll take this and I'll ease it in over here. And that'll give that straight all the way black in the way in the back there. That's better. And then we'll ease some other stuff. But yeah, see, now that looks a little bit more, to me, like, you know, a softer background. Some out of focus, there's stuff happening, but it's not necessarily anything too specific. Nothing too specific. There we go. Oh, that looks pretty good, pretty good. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it a little soft back there, a little bit more out of focus. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay in some of these browns and whatnot. That I think I'm going to do with another fairly good sized brush. I'll use this one right here, I guess, again. And let me get some browns. And this time I'm going to keep it kind of loose. I want these strokes to be kind of with a fairly wet paint that can go on there and without beating stuff up too bad. Just kind of come in and I'm just going to randomly go in here and get kind of stick shapes and things like that I see happening. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to beat it up too much. I'm just going to come in here on the edge of that. There's some stuff back here. We're on the edge of this pot. Let's go this way. There we go. So I'm going to find the edge of that pot a little bit better there. Just some things. And back in there, yeah. Lots of wood, a lot of plant material, whatnot. I'll sweep it across here. And there's some uglier, dirtier colors too, some darker browns. We've got some of these dark browns. I'll work those into a couple areas back in here. Oh, that's going to be leaf and big chunks of leaf and big things that are happening down in there. Got to make sure I'm watching out for these few mushrooms that are right over here. A group of mushrooms here. And then let's see. I'm going to go here with some more of this. There's some of that up in there. And I'm obviously not going to get all the values and stuff beautifully mapped out as they could be when I'm doing it with, you know, a little bit more time in play. But I'll go back. This is great because I can do this very quickly and I don't really have to worry about, you know, the accuracy of it, because as long as I get the feel for it. And a lot of times I don't have to necessarily go back and do as much as you might think. A lot of times I don't have to go back and do as much. A lot of times I can go back, and now some of these chunks are going to be a little bit more, let me see. Let me get a kind of more of a periwinkly color here. There we go, kind of a light, kind of purpley. There you go. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. That's still not really the color that I want necessarily, but that's okay. I'm good with it. I'm just going to pop it around here and there, and mix it in. This is all debris and whatnot, all in here. So it can be what it is. It's just, you know. Okay, somebody calling me. Who that be? Somebody I do not know again. Okay, goodbye. Alright, that happens every time I do one of these. I'm getting used to it. I wish I knew how to avoid it. There's probably a way to avoid it, but you know, I just, like I said, I've only got so much time on my hands, and so I kind of go with the flow on a lot of this stuff. So, okay, it's gonna happen. Now I'm gonna get same thing. I'm working in some greens, some whatnots. I'm gonna kind of hit some of this area again. A little bit back in here, a bit more in there, and just hit some more back down in here. Kind of get a little bit more interest on a few things there. Down here. That's it. like the fact that there really isn't that much greenery back in here in the original. I'm going to throw some essences of greens and stuff in there because I want to. I just want to give the essence of maybe a little bit more of a mix of rather than just all browns, which is pretty much what's dominating in the source photo. There we go. It's nice. And that's starting to look like debris and the leaves and stuff like that. So let me get some of this golder color here. I'll throw in a few more golden colors. A few spots. Just gotta get some of that again. There we go. Throw some of that in here and there. That's it. Nice. Okay. Lovely. Now with this I'm not going to beat it quite as hard as far as all that, but let me get back in here and smooth some of this out again. But this is a little closer. So now I'm just going to kind of take some of this and I'm just going to kind of tap it rather than streaking it all the way across. I'm just going to kind of tap around and kind of get a more of a, there we go. It's going to fill in and whatnot, but it's not going to be as smeary and soft as the back. It's still loose and whatnot, but I'm trying not to overdo it. And I'll bring it right about into here, right into this area right here, right along this line in here. Because I can put some more detail on it, but I like there to be essence of softness there as I come forward. And then this stuff in the foreground now, I could actually do the same and come in here and give a little shallow the depth of field in the front, which is kind of what's happening in the photograph anyway. So I can kind of come in here and just kind of go around here and shallow some of this depth of field right here, shallow it down, soften it up all those edges. Just kind of come over in here and do a little bit of that. Try to just shallow, just do it where it's not real prominent. And there's going to be a lot, more work have to be done on this thing, of course, with all of them. But the main thing is getting the general feel for what we've got going on. And so far, I'm liking it pretty well. We'll see what's going on. Now, soon I'm going to be bringing in some, some more color, and it's going to look a little more, have a little more pop. The mushrooms are just kind of gray there right now. Okay, so we've got some of that. So now there's like a kind of a creamy, it's not quite really a rose color. So let me see. I think I've got like a soft, look at that color. It's off-white. It's off-white, like very, it's not quite pink. A little bit more of a periwinkle. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's see. I'm going to throw just, sounds crazy, but I'm going to throw just a little tickle of turquoise in there. Yeah, kind of a silver, kind of a turquoisey color that I can bring into some of these highlights, some of these sticks that I can make a little bit more detailed. I can come in and do a few things like that and just throw a few things that are a little bit more detailed. Just going to get a few more harder edges here. I don't want to go too crazy with it. Distribute it just uniformly across or something like that. Just not a good idea usually. Now I'm just going to grab some kind of a neutral color. I'm going to grab some white and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kind of hit maybe once again a little bit of this tree bark right here. Like that. Goes through something here. There's another piece right here. And get some of these sticks a little bit more defined. A little bit. And here, this is I'm not trying to go too crazy. I'm just trying to get a little bit of it. Just trying to make it, get some sharper edges right in here in the front that'll look a little bit more, things a little more completed, a little more details. I'm of course I'm going to go back in and do a lot more detail, but caring for that right there. So let me kind of kill it a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. That's better. Almost too linear. All right. Let me clean up a little bit here. Let me clean up a bit. What did I do with my? I don't have my trash can handy. What the heck? I got the way through this without my trash can. Okay, we got about almost 20 minutes left, and I think that's going to be just about right as far as getting this thing shining up here. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. What I need now is to kind of get ready to hit some of these mushrooms and get those a little bit more detailed. So let's some of the ones in the back here. They're going to be more, they're not going to be pure white. They're going to be a little off-white. And I've got like kind of a creamy kind of off-white here that I can kind of throw in there, throw some white down. A little more white right here. Kind of a nice creamy color. Just mostly up there at the top. There you go. Not a bad start. Okay. Over here. This one's actually a little bit more gray in truth, so let me get this back one here first. And he's kind of lit mostly from the side and then all along this front ridge here. He's lit up on the top of the cap there. So let's do that again a little bit. It's nice. And I'm going to go with other colors and stuff, obviously, but that's what's going to work right there. I like that cream color, so I'm going to come back over here and hit this a little harder with the cream up there. I'm going to get a little bit color now, a little more color. Right on this part right here. Nice. And then let's see the stems. Barely has any light there, and I'll get that light. That's a little bright, but that's all right. I'm good with that. I'm good with it, because like I said, I can always go back in and fix it up. All right, I want to go ahead and get some more of this creamy white and get good and strong right in this area here. Nice, strong, clean. Same thing up on top of this ridge right here. Right there. That's looking pretty good. Now this big one here. I'm going to use a bigger brush on that one. See what happens. Shall he destroy it? Or will he succeed? Let's see what happens. I think I'll be alright. We'll find out. Same thing here. Premier color right along top here. Once again, that color's a little bright, but you know, I need something to put back on top of it there. So now, right in here, we've got kind of a little. Actually, let's go this way. A little hint of that, a little hint. All right, and there's gonna be some other colors getting thrown in there, of course. Now, let's see. We're working our way from the back. Now, there's going to kind of a more of a cream color. Maybe gray it up a little bit so it's not so cream. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it looks pretty close. A dirty mustard color that I didn't really want, but I'll go ahead and work it in there anyway, because why not? It's on the brush. So let's work some of that dirty mustard, and a leaf or two here. killed a little part of it there. I didn't like doing that. Oh, you dummy. That's right. I'm going to go back in and get that lip back right here. Sorry. Not as good as it was before, but that's alright. That's okay. Sometimes you blow it. Look back on the video and go, no! That's okay. So again, let's come over here to having this guy. Oh, I need a little looser than that. It's a little too, there we go. Here, we got one that's not bad. Not bad at all. That's about right. Get a little dull, but I'll always bring it back up, but I don't want to overload it either once again. I don't want to overload it. Well, let's come back in here to get just a little bit of this. Definitely going to be a kind of a, there we go. That's about right. I'll let that one sit for a minute, but I'm going to soften it up. That one there now. See that color is kind of, yeah, same kind of similar color, not exactly the same, a little more orangey. More orangey, yeah. With this color, maybe dull it down a little bit. There we go. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I ain't gonna complain. Alright, now let's get over here with one of these other brushes here. Kind of smooth this in here. And you just pull that right on up, right there. Smooth it up there a little bit. All right, how are we doing on time here today? All right, we've got about 5 more minutes or so. That'll give me just time to throw in the other couple mushrooms there. All right, there's some nice, really bright, kind of creamy, orangey ones. Right here. Like that. Okay, some nice sienna. Nice sienna shot underneath. There we go. nice. Alright, well, once again, it could be smoother. It could be a little smoother, a little smoother spots. But I've got the idea of what I'm going to be after here. Oh, we didn't get these little guys over here. Oops! Okay, well, we can't cheat that now. We can't say, okay, you got that done, and not have these guys done. Okay, so these guys are kind of like little circles. And we'll do them in blue here. Too many little stems here and there. Let's see. There you go. So a little bit of those. Let me get a kind of a darker color so I can kind of come in here. Yeah, that's not going to be good enough. Let's kind of get a dark one. There we go. It's more like it. And I'm going to have to go in later with these to do a little something that I can't really pull off right at this moment. But at least I have the essence of the little ones down here. Alrighty, well, that's not exactly what I thought I'd get, but it's pretty close. It's not too bad. I've got a little bit more color I need to pop in. Looks like what I really need to do to kind of make this sing a little bit more is to put a little bit more lime green back in here to make some light happen. A little bit more in the piece there. Have some light kicking through a little bit more. A little bit more light kicking through. I think it's kind of got dulled up a little bit there. As a matter of fact, there's a couple blades of grass that I can throw up in there, here and there. It would kind of look all right. Right near there. A couple of random ones here and there. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that helped. That helped a lot, actually. Just needed to pop some more light in there. It was just kind of missing a bit. That's all right. It happens. There you go. A little bit too bright up in the top of this one. A bit too bright up here, so let's let it down a little bit more, one more time. Let's use some red down there. I'm going to pull some red down from in here. A little bit more, let's be a little bit more, a little bolder. A little bolder in there, a little bit around there. There we go. Now we got to pop the little guys. There you go. All right. Well, it's a very rough one, but that's what you can get. Just a little bit, roughly about an hour. Let's see what we've got here. See what we're looking at. Yeah, you can't see some of this. So let me kind of come over once again. Let's pull it back. There you go. got one side on this side over here. This side on this side right here. The right side of the picture is a little bit, dulled out compared to, it just gets a glare. When you come in a little bit, you can see that the color's a little darker, but then it kind of fades out. But that side's always a little bit of, but you can see that I've got a decent little start on it, and the light will come more and more as we go. But yeah, pretty happy with it. Well, let me put her back on the old stand here real quick. Let's go check in real quick before I sign out. No comments today. We got 6 people, 3 loves. All right, well, very good. Well, thanks for watching, who's ever watching. That's going to be it for me today. I'm pretty happy with what I did for an hour. Obviously, it can be better, but and of course, it looks like, it really just doesn't show on that camera. It looks so much nicer than you're seeing on that camera. It really does. But when I get the finished photographs of the finished painting and stuff like that, it'll look a lot different than that. But this is a good start for an hour, and from there, it's just tightening it up. Alrighty, everybody. Well, I appreciate you coming and visiting with me today, and I will be painting again. I was going to paint tomorrow. I was going to paint tomorrow at 11:30, but I painted today at 11:30, which is Wednesday. I usually paint Thursday. I had it scheduled to do Thursday, but I've got a friend of mine who needs some help. And so I'm going to help my friend, and I'm going to be doing that over the next 2 days. And then on Saturday, I'll have my last painting of the series. This is 7 of 8, 8 of 8, and I'll have finished that bad boy up for the most part. And I'll have a few more things that, ooh, excuse me, woo, fighting back on me. A few more things that I've got to do, but other than that, I think we're looking pretty good. Everybody have a great weekend. A great rest of the week, and I'll see you this weekend, Saturday, 11:30, and that'll be the Sayonara episode for this. I am going to do some other live videos, but I'm not going through the scheduling and all that. I'll just pop the live camera on there, and you guys can join me if you like. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.